Sorry for the TPK. Let's go.
Come on in, join the show, take a seat, grab a hoe, kick your feet up on the desk, man, cause we about to roll, play some D&D, baby.
We ain't nothing but mammals, and yes, we do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
We got people wild shaping, barbarians raging, Goop trying to gobble cause goblins are fucking cannibals. This is Dungeons and Dragons with lots of drunken asses, so send your kids to their room, break out the secret stashes. No discussion about what's fair and right, this is us living life by a paradise. So, step on down to our lair of mice, face stepping right through your screen into paradise. Yo! This is paradise. Nothing's off limits in our paradise.
It's fucking D&D.
This is paradise. Nothing's off limits in our paradise.
Going as far as you can see.
This is paradise. Nothing's off limits in our paradise.
Fucking all the succubies.
This is paradise. Heretic, I think you meant succubi.
I know what the fuck I meant. Roll for initiative.
When Goop died, it was a sad day for us all. But what happens after you die? Let's find out, this time, on PairODice Untold.
Last time, Goop died. Now, you find your spirit standing outside a large gate in a dark, barren land. The moon shines down and passes through the dust in the air like a torch in a sandstorm. It consumes the entire sky, this moon does. It's just fucking huge. The gate that you're standing at is made of black obsidian, and it stands like 100 feet tall. There's like an enormous crowd of semi-transparent beings, just like yourself, and they're all waiting and screaming outside this gate trying to get in. One of the more well-dressed guardsmen approaches the gate and looks through. He's wearing all black armor with a black leather hood over his head. No sigils anywhere to be seen. He closes his eyes and touches his hands together. As he pushes his hands forward, a strong gust of wind pushes everybody back about 5 feet as this wave just kind of exudes from him. And then he calls out, he says, "Can you please step forward as I call your name? Jonathan Bigsby, Rayler the Kind, Keith Lamard, Dominic Dykova, Goop, and Jord the Nord." What do you do?
Goop joins the crowd of people that's walking forward, whose name has been called, and she turns to someone and says, "What is this place?"
"I'm not sure, but it's not good out there. So I'd rather be in this keep."
She looks back kind of scared and then looks back at the guy and goes, "What's back there?"
"Well, I arrived today after my untimely death, it seems. There's nothing but demons. Millions of demons just hoarded. It seems they're heading this way."
Oh, jeez. Goop knows she's dead, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would assume Scoop's smart enough to figure that out.
Okay, cool. Goop continues with the crowd towards Gate Man.
All right. As you approach the gate, the guard waves his hand, and you're magically teleported inside this gigantic dark black keep it's got like rich deep purple sands. You can see thousands of transparent creatures armed with crudely made magical weapons, and amongst them, far and few, are some dark shadow-like creatures. They all seem to be facing to the west on the side, and they're standing almost as if they're preparing for war. And the guy kind of stands up and he looks at his list and he puts his list down. And he says, "You're new here, so you'll follow my orders. However, we are short on men, so you've been handpicked due to your magical abilities to be our platoon commanders charged to protect our queen. Do you understand?"
Whoa! I didn't die to join a war. What's happening? Why? What happened? What's going on?
You're our platoon commander now. No questions, no answers. We have no time. Listen.
I'm the commander?
You're a platoon commander. You know what that means, right? You know what platoon means, right?
Like a group?
Like a group, yes. Okay, so you're going to be in charge of a group, commanding them. They have swords, they fight. You stand back, you command them, you help from a distance if you can. The enemy is near, just over the horizon. We don't have much time to prepare. We have about 10 minutes to discuss strategy, but I'm afraid that's all we can afford. So if you would please kindly follow me Follow me to the what are those things called? I had it in my head. It was just there.
War room.
The war room. Thank you.
Goop looks back at the group that she is in charge of. I'm assuming it's just one group, right?
Yeah, it's a group of about like 10,000.
Goop weakly waves at them with like a half smile on her face, but her eyes say, "Oh God."
Oh God. All right.
And I follow him into the war room.
All right. So as you walk through this densely packed, war-ready crowd, some look ready to die, a few look petrified, but all in all, the morale seems high. You enter this keep and into the war room. The guard stands around this large board with the layout of the keep. There seems to be small figurines scattered about. Here's the things you notice. So pretty much there's a small circle in the middle where the main castle is. Large circle around that is a wall. I mean, like huge. Like this is miles, right? The wall stands about. There's like guard towers jutting around the edges. There's hundreds of them. So just imagine that on the wall. Yeah. There's hundreds of guard towers. There's a large 100-foot wide river of acid that stretches through the keep and forms a small pool just west of the center in the courtyard. So just west of the circle, imagine it cuts it into like quarters. And towards the center of that river is like a huge pool. And over that large pool of acid is a bridge. It looks like...
Is the bridge down now?
The bridge is up. It's not a retractable one. It's just a crude bridge there. And there's a figurine of a green cube kind of floating in that acid river. You also see the Queen's chambers are atop this main tower in the middle, directly in the center. And there's 6 towers that surround that main tower, equally proportioned around that circle. The wall surrounding the city is about 100 feet tall. Looking at the troops, the troop little minis that are on this board, you'll see there's a group of mages, a group of archers, an extremely large group of melee fighters, a small group of cavalry, and figurines of ravens kind of scattered on the map. It looks like there's large canyons kind of every like 4 or 5 towers along the wall. There's cannons. And strange to you, there's this figurine of a dragon that's on the table. It's not really placed anywhere, but it's near the table. The enemy is positioned in a way on this map that it looks like they're going to surround this keep on the west, north, and east side. It looks like the enemy has a ton of melee creatures, a few battering rams, and the battering rams look quite large. There's a handful of some sort of flying creature. There's like cavalry with no riders. It just looks like horses with no riders. There's like a medium-sized demon that looks to be a blob of melting flesh. There's a medium-sized demonic being with only a head for a body. It's got like 3 arms protruding his sides, like tentacles, and 3 orange eyes, like 3 large claws for feet, and a vertical mouth with excessively sharp teeth that split his entire body. A maw demon, if you've ever seen those.
No, but continue.
As you're taking in this the layout of what he's got, he looks around. He says, "So, any suggestions?" And then after a second of no response from you or any other commander, he's like, "Oh, come on, somebody! Castor isn't here today, and I need some input."
I'm no military expert, but what kind of spells do our mages have? I suppose.
Well, I'm not sure. I've never asked.
I feel like they could probably do the most to hold them back. Perhaps if they have some sort of spell that makes the walking forward harder, we can use that, and then the archers can blast them.
What would you suggest? I'll send our mage commander out.
Maybe something like spike growth, so as they're walking, they can sort of hurt themselves and can't move as fast.
Wow, that's not a bad idea. Kind of like trenches, and we'll get in trenches and just Oh man, that's good. I'm gonna send it. Hey, send this note to the mage commander, and he hands off the note to one of his cronies as he walks off. Any other bright ideas?
What's with the dragon?
Oh, the dragon. Yeah. He's not really in our control. So that's why I have him off the table. I hope he shows up because we could definitely use a dragon.
Okay, good to know.
But maybe I could pass something along if you had an idea for the dragon.
What color dragon is it?
Green.
I hear that green dragons like the taste of elves. You got any elves?
I'm afraid not.
Okay. I mean that's a bad idea anyway. I don't think we have enough elves. Can we like entice it with some sort of food? I don't know, like fish. Oh yeah, I'm dead. All right. Are there dead fish here?
Well, the issue isn't enticing it. It's that it only listens to its master or its lover, I should say, and he is nowhere to be found.
Oh jeez. Do you know what this person looks like?
Yes, quite tall, very human.
Okay. So other ideas?
So our melee fighters, what do they look like? Just like big buff barbarian guys, or it's just a bunch of scrawny dudes with swords?
So it's an assortment of pretty much stragglers that have died and came here, but there is quite a large amount of shadow-like warriors. That they're not large, but they look like they're well trained.
I could make a couple of the particularly strong ones move a little bit faster. 3 of them, if they're really strong, I can make them move about 10 feet faster every 6 seconds.
Yeah, so 3 is great. Can you do it for like 1 million?
I could put a tornado out there and push them back.
That sounds great. You do that. I have. They're almost here. Shit. Okay. Listen. Come with me. Go to your platoon. I have to address the rest of this army before it's too late.
All right, but before you go, if I win this war for you, do I get to go back to my living world?
Little girl, I hate to say this, but I don't think you're going to win this war for us. But we'd be happy to have you play a part.
All right. Yay.
Goop is a little like freaked out. And I guess she looks over towards her platoon as he walks away.
All right. As you walk out of the war room and into your platoon, you can see him kind of post up in the middle of millions of creatures as he begins this speech. Everybody kind of falls silent, and all you can hear is the enemy footsteps like advancing and quaking the earth in the distance. He says, "Today we fight for our realms to protect the gods, the living and the dead from these monstrosities. We've all died once already, and for whatever that reason, however much of a coward you were then, today will be different as we stand for what's good and make this death exceed the expectations from our last. Let us take arm." And a guy, he says, and then a guy from the crowd screams, "Destroy those ugly demonic fuckers!" And then the millions of voices from the top of the towers and all these people miles away, all the way to the center of the keep, where you stand screaming support and preparedness for war as the enemies approach the walls. A large group of weak newcomers look to you, awaiting their orders. What do you do?
All right, people. I'm no general of war, and I will not promise any of you that you will not die. But I will do my dig dog darnest to keep you guys in this fight, and we're gonna beat these demons. And hopefully that brings me home, and hopefully bring you guys home. But I don't know. We can do this.
And she looks at the particularly most scared and most freaked out one, and she says,
"You look pretty scared, man. I'm scared too. Let's do this."
I need you to make a charisma check on that. Probably persuasion.
Okay, why not?
Definitely not intimidation for sure.
Definitely not.
Woo!
Ooh, nat 20 for Goop. That was genuine, I guess.
Yeah. They felt what you felt in that moment, and they wanted what you wanted. And they all scream with joy, and they let off of their battle cries, and they turn around and prepare for war. As
this makes Scoop feel good inside, and she is less scared visibly.
Almost immediately, you see the mages they prepare their spells and they start to cast spike growth all around these walls, and there's some mages on top of the towers that start to cast spike growth on the outside of the walls, and it's not completely circumferencing the place because it has like slight gaps where the spells they didn't have enough mages to really cast the width of the spell, but it pretty much covers the majority of the inside of this wall and the outside. And you see these ravens come flying in to attack from above, and they start fighting these wasp-like creatures in the air. A bunch of them fall, and the wasps start to fall to the ground as well as these ravens. The few that are left start to swoop in on the prey, and it's making it real difficult for the enemy, the front melee of the enemies to see. You can see for miles there's just demons and more demons and more demons, and like you can't even see the horizon because they've kind of swarmed this entire landscape. The cavalry takes this moment to run in and attack. The cannons on every one of these towers start shooting off, and they're firing directly into this crowd and exploding with this large green blast. As the enemy gets closer, the archers begin to rain down arrows, and you hear melee units cheer for a man named Castor as you see this knight donned with Oathbreaker sigils on his armor, riding on a horse with a flaming mane. He begins to give a speech about God and spaghetti. Somehow this resonates, and there's a notable morale shift as the archers begin to hit their marks. After maybe about 10 minutes of you guys just sitting here inside of this keep waiting to see what happens, nothing's really protruded. Suddenly the walls start to break down as battering rams start swinging in, producing like this huge red blast as they hit. The wall falls, as well as the archers on top of the towers, and the stone starts to crush the melee defenders below and covering those spike growths that the mages had laid earlier. And you can see the enemy militia just pushing through. All you can see at this point is darkness from the void that is the shadow army. Amongst them, you can see the maul demons. There's only like on each side of you, there's one. It seems like they're kind of commanding these flanks as they start to walk over the melees, the melee bunch, and they're just consuming these shadows and eating them to death.
So the tentacle creature's eating the shadows?
Yeah, he's just eating up all of the militia pretty much as the rest of their shadow figures. And you can tell there's a noticeable difference. Like the shadows that are in your militia, they're more of a human figure. That they're less wispy, they're more opaque. The ones on the other side actually look like shadows. There's no really like figure to them at all. It's just pure darkness.
And they're already inside, right?
Yeah, they've broken down this wall, and this maw demon is just biting heads off of the fallen comrades, devouring corpses like it was mealtime at Denny's. And
Goop would like to slam the tip of her staff on the dust and cast Dust Cloud to sort of, Dust Devil, which is like a little tiny tornado, to try to like push it out of the to try to push these demons out of the wall spot that we're at least to get them off of our soldiers.
What's the radius on that?
It is, so I make a little tornado up to 60 feet away from me, and it takes up 5 feet, and then I can move it 30 feet as a bonus action.
Is there a save on it?
And anything, the save is 14 strength.
All right. I'm gonna roll it in here so you can see it too. Let's go. Oh, 1d20. It's 16 strength, you said?
It is 14.
That's a 15. All right. As you start casting this and you push it out, you see this dust storm kind of form, and it's pushing some of their melee back, but it's not pushing these huge creatures back. And you notice that the mages that are left in the center start to follow suit, and they're just doing the same thing. They're just pushing them back. And the melee on your end is they're continually delivering blows to these huge demons. And these demons don't seem to be affected one bit as they begin to rip and tear the entire militia to pieces and devouring anything that comes within their grasp. The smoke. Oh, go ahead.
So it doesn't look like our tornado's doing anything.
Yeah. Yours didn't, but theirs is doing a little more.
And melee attacks aren't doing squat.
Yeah, the melee attacks just don't seem to be cutting it right now. And the smoke and the debris from all this wreckage and fires have kind of like filled the sky so much that the moon has disappeared. It's formed these large clouds in the sky that you can see suddenly. They suddenly split apart to reveal the moon. The moon begins to fade into a reddish hue as if it was being filled with blood. Suddenly, meteors begin to reveal themselves in the sky and start raining down on both sides of the battlefield, destroying large groups of militia with every impact. You see one heading straight for you. It looks to be the size of a small hut.
Oh, okay. Do we have enough time to run away? Because if that's the case, Goop will yell, "Scatter!"
All right, you yell scatter, and go ahead and make a dex save. See if you can get out of the way in time. Nice.
21.
All right. As you yell scatter and everybody kind of moves out of the way, a man with long hair wearing nothing but a loincloth, looking enraged, begins to spin his axe until his body becomes a whirlwind and lifts him off to the ground. Within milliseconds, he reaches this meteorite that's headed towards you. As it falls, he strikes it with his axe, splits it in half, and redirects it into the enemy's flanks. And as he falls back down to the ground, it's like, bro, that was a close one.
Absolutely.
Goop use summon wildlife. Summon beast or whatever it's called, and brings in an Allosaurus, which I think is just a dinosaur, and makes it and sends it in to go help out the melee fighters.
Ooh, that's a large beast. Okay.
Yep.
Go assist them, please. We can't have these people die.
Where did where did the meteor come from? Just out of nowhere?
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere, out of the sky. It seems that something somewhere was willing to destroy enemies on both sides to prevent this invasion from happening.
Goop thinks it was a catapult.
Okay. So
I'll just share that information.
So as you summon this Allosaurus, what do you have it do?
I'm gonna have it run in and attack the big tentacle monster.
Oh yeah, that hits.
23.
That hits. The save is a 5. It's a fail. All right.
It's a claw, and then once it's knocked prone, it's a bite.
Okay. So this Allosaurus that you summon just starts running straight towards this maw demon, and it's just stepping on all the melee units as it's trying to get there, just squashing the fuck out of them on both sides. It really doesn't give a fuck at this point. And once it reaches
21 on the bite.
Okay, hell yeah. Once it reaches this maw demon, it just bites off one of the tentacles and kind of lifts it up from the tentacle. And as the maw demon is kind of hanging in the air, the tentacle just rips off and it falls to the ground. And he begins to claw the fuck out of it. And would Goop like an action at this point, knowing that the maw demon about 60 feet out is prone?
I think Conjure Animal is a concentration spell, just so you know. So if I get hit, I can lose it. All right, so Goop would like to bonus action Shillelagh and try to. Is there any other creatures inside this place?
Yeah.
Besides the tentacle monster?
Tons of melee shadow units, as well as those big fucking fat globs of flesh.
All right, Goop will charge towards the one closest to her and try to, if there's anyone close enough to me for me to Shillelagh and whack.
Yeah,
I'll go for it.
21. Holy shit, you're rolling high. Of course it hits. Roll that damage.
Yeah. All right. 9 damage, max damage.
So the maw demon fell to the ground, and the melee units started surrounding it and just started beating the crap out of it. And you go up with your staff and cast Shillelagh on it, and it just glows with magical energy, and you just fucking swing the shit out of it and hit this large fucking blob of flesh right in the stomach, and his stomach kind of shifts to the right and breaks off, and his intestines start to fall out, and the melee units around there just start beating them down and pushing them down on the ground and just fucking destroying this guy. And you can see like all these other large demons that are in the battlefield, they seem to be like overcome and destroying, like just being destroyed by all these motherfuckers. And the ravens are just flying down and eating like bits and pieces and flying back up into the air. And then the battle kind of goes on for a bit. They're kind of holding them back. And about 30 minutes has passed all together since this battle started. And it's
at some point, Goop would like to send the dinosaur out there to go try to break to attack the people with the battering rams, so we can minimize damage.
The walls
on the
they
wall
were gone like right away. Like it was
Oh well, then never mind. I'll continue to support the troops.
It's all good. So after like 30 minutes of just fucking struggle and battle has passed, silence kind of dawns as the enemy pulls back. It seems that both sides are taking a moment to kind of gather themselves after a long-winded session of pushing and shoving and swinging weapons. A large portion of the enemy's army have retreated to the horizon. Some are still fighting amidst your crew. What do you want to do?
There's still some people within the wall, right? How close are they to the queen? Were we able to keep them back pretty far?
Yeah. They're still like half a mile away from the main keep.
Okay. How's my troops looking? Are they pretty fucked?
Yeah. They're fucked, but not quite as bad as the enemies are right now.
All right, cool. And then in my little area, there's still like little creatures in here, right?
In your little area, it's just the melee units. I would say like at this point, there's not anything directly surrounding you, like within distance of you trying to get to them. They're all like on the outskirts because they were trying to get away, and your units are holding them. As far as your platoon goes, we're far enough in that most of you are still alive.
All right. Goop kind of wants to attack them as they're retreating. So Goop looks at her troop and goes,
Don't let them escape. We have to stop them before they come back even stronger. We don't have a wall anymore.
She looks over at the most scared man and grabs him by his shoulder or by the scruff of his shirt, pulls him close and says, "Let's give him hell!" And she just charges out first.
Roll persuasion with advantage, motherfucker.
Okay.
Yes.
Damn it, 11.
Oh, dude. All right. They start to charge out immediately, and the rest of the platoon see this and they follow suit.
Goop would like to lead her charge with her people.
Yeah. As you send these people out to charge, the silence breaks as you hear a faint flapping sound, followed by 5 large roars from above. You look to the sky and you see a dragon so large that an elephant could ride it. It has like 5 multicolored heads. Can you make a religion check?
Damn it, out of character. I know what this is. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you totally know this is Tiamat, and Tiamat's flying over to the keep and breathing acid, fire, cold, and poison and lightning in every fucking direction. And it stops for a moment. It turns its attention to you. You're not sure.
Oh god.
You're not sure if it's aiming for you or what's around you.
Goop puts her hands out to try to stop to stop all the troops and sort of assess the situation. Yeah. She's like obviously looking at Tiamat.
But all 5 of the heads pull together, preparing for a dragon breath that would probably melt the ice caps in the material plane. You can see it reach the end of this forever deep inhalation, and then is there something you want to do?
Okay.
It is looking towards
where are these ice caps? Oh wait, there are no ice caps, are there? That was just a metaphor. Goop would say, "Retreat! Run back! That's Tiamat! I'm not ready for this one!" And she just books it back before anyone else does.
Yeah. So you start booking it back, and man, this fucking blast takes out thousands of men and and even part of the keep, you can feel the residual damage as the temperature around you constantly fluctuates between burning hot and freezing cold. Second by second, it changes.
Oh wait, Goop, just remember that we are supposed to be protecting the queen. Can I see the tower from here?
Oh yeah. That's where you were heading. You were heading towards that.
Yeah, is the tower good? Oh, okay. The tower's fine.
Yeah. So at this moment, the rest of the militia from the enemy begins to file back in, and you see a large green dragon come and begin to attack Tiamat.
Oh snap! Goops slows down and watches this battle for a bit. Damn, I feel like I should still retreat though. All right, I continue to retreat, but I run less fast.
Yeah, because you're like looking over your shoulders to see this fucking 5-headed Tiamat dragon just fucking flying through the air and back and forth with this green dragon. The green dragon seems to be holding its own despite the Tiamat having rain in multiple directions. Its breath weapon. It seems to be running dry of breath, however, and suddenly you see the queen walk out from atop the balcony.
Let's go back in. It's not safe out here.
Well, there's something strange as everybody referred to this as a queen, however, it's a man.
Oh.
And he walks out on
question mark.
He walks out on the balcony, points his finger at Tiamat, and you see this large ray of darkness shoot out, and it hits Tiamat directly in its middle head. And quickly Tiamat turns around and flies back out into the horizon. You see in the distance the enemy starts to pull back, and just on that horizon where Tiamat was flying, you see the shadow of make a religion check real quick.
All right.
Okay.
We're doing pretty good. 16.
Yeah. You see the shadow of what you would know to be Orcus in the distance, flying, levitating not far off the ground. And below him is a small gnome, and the small gnome looks pretty familiar. It looks like the one that you set free. And they're staring, at the queen from the horizon. He angrily opens a portal and exits the realm as the rest of the enemy retreats.
Okay.
It seems you have won, and that's our time.
Holy shit!
Wow. You have a lot to do after you die. I might have to eat more vegetables.